Hey guys, it's Ben. It's been another week, so you know what that means. It's time for another weekly update. Now, for you guys that are just joining this vlog, you may be thinking about joining it or just watching it for the first time. This vlog has been going on for like 50 some weeks now. It started out with me starting to take the drug Mounjaro for my diabetes, right? For my glucose control. But what ended up happening is the Mounjaro for my glucose control also had the side effect of helping me lose a lot of weight that I needed to lose, that I've been needing to lose for a long time, right? That I'd given up on losing, actually. I'd given up. I'd tried to lose weight on my own. In fact, I started at around 250 pounds, and I was able to get my weight down on my own through diet, well, through watching what I eat, mostly, not really diet, and through just stopping drinking beer, right? My weight just kind of came off. I just quit drinking altogether, actually, a year ago last June, and that's when the weight started shedding off. It took a year, but I lost a lot of weight. I went down from 250 down to like 180, 190. But that's where I plateaued, right? On my own, losing weight. That's where I plateaued, and I'd kind of given up, and I was doing the same things that I'd always been doing while I was losing weight. And that is just abstaining from alcohol and not eating as much fast food as I used to, but I wasn't really that serious, right? I'd lost a lot of weight, but I'd gotten down to that 180, 190, still obese, and I needed to lose about 40 more pounds, but there was no way that was happening. I'd tried diet and exercise, and every time I'd diet, I'd lose 5 pounds. And then a month later, I'd realize that I lost 5 pounds for sure last month, but this month I'd gained 8. So it was slowly ratcheting up again. I was falling for the same crap that I've always fallen for, losing the weight, gaining it back. And I was like, this is going to be no different. I've stopped taking the drug now. The weight's going to come back on, right? I was doubting myself quite a bit. But this vlog, this whole weekly vlog thing that I'm doing right here, this is the thing that's kept me honest with myself. And this is the thing that's kept me working on it, right? Even when I make mistakes, which I do, which I've had failures, right? Even when I have that piece of chocolate or something on Halloween, or maybe not just a piece, but maybe like 5 pieces. It used to be that would be the end of it, right? I'd given up, right? I failed, may as well just give this weight loss thing up. This time's different, right? I've worked pretty hard getting my weight down to 180, 190 in the first place, and then with Mounjaro's help getting me down to my final weight, my goal weight of between 155 and 165. It's been magic, right? I stopped taking Mounjaro about 6 months ago, right? But I'm still maintaining my weight loss, and I'm doing that through my lifestyle changes. Had I gone back to my old lifestyle changes and stopped taking this medicine cold turkey, my weight would have already been back, right? 6 months ago, I would have quit this, and if I would have kept up with my old habits, I would have been right back up to 180, 190, no doubt. But as it turns out, lifestyle changes and dedication and getting back on that horse when you fall off it, like I've done, right? Eating something that you shouldn't have, feeling guilty about it, and then getting over it, forgiving yourself and getting back on the horse and starting it all over again. That's what you need to do, and that's what makes a success, right? There's not going to be like 3 weeks from now or next year I'll be able to say, my weight loss has been a success. This is something that's going to be staying with me the rest of my life, right? I have to maintain my lifestyle changes for life. Otherwise, I'm gaining all that weight back, and I'm gaining back all the negativity that comes with that weight. Stuff like not being able to ride on certain rides, not being able to walk across a parking lot, right? Not being able to go on a walk with my dogs without getting winded. I've got 2 grandbabies now. They're going to be walking soon. I'm going to have to be keeping up with them. I'm doing this for myself, but I'm also doing it for my family. We all have to have motivations, and this is mine. My family is my motivation, as it turns out, right? My grandkids mostly. I want to see them graduate college, and I know that if I kept on with the old lifestyle, the way that I used to live, I probably wouldn't have lived another 10 years. I'd be in the waning of my years, but as it turns out, I'm hopeful that I can make it past their high school years, maybe even their college years would be awesome, and maybe even see what they get into as adults. That'd be amazing. I'm hoping, right? So wish me luck. It's what I'm living for, and it's what I'm working for, and it's why I've made the lifestyle changes that I have. Anyway, thank you for listening to my introduction about why I'm doing this vlog. Now in this vlog, once a week. I take my weight, right? You guys see it. This is the only time all week that I weigh. So it's just as much as a surprise to me as it is to you. A couple of weigh-ins, well, not a couple ago, probably a few months ago, I weighed in and I'd actually gained some weight. And I was pretty down on it. And you could see, I was like, my emotions, I didn't even realize. It was written all over my face. And somebody had commented, it's like, man, I could really feel that weigh-in on this one. And I was like, I wonder what they mean by that. So I went back and I watched the video back, and I was amazed at the emotion that was in my face when I weighed in and I actually gained 4 pounds when I thought I had lost some weight, right? It kind of brings me, well, you know what? Before we talk about this, I want to talk about like body dysmorphia, right? Something's gotten me thinking about this. We talked about body dysmorphia way long time ago when I first started on Mounjaro, and I was telling you guys about how I could look into a mirror and I didn't see an overweight guy so much. I saw a guy that he could afford to lose a couple of pounds, but God, he's not obese, right? I was obese, you guys. I was obese. It's denial, right? And it's body dysmorphia. You can look at if you look at your body, normally body dysmorphia is you looking at yourself and you're seeing something wrong about yourself, like a blemish or something that probably exists, but nobody else even notices it, right? That's body dysmorphia. There's this girl on YouTube. Her name is, I can't remember what her name is, but I just saw her the other day, and she's an anorexic. And they have been removing her videos from YouTube because they think that she's setting a bad example to young girls, and I believe that she is. She sees herself as being overweight, but if you saw her, you would think that she was starving to death. It's very sad. And that's one example of body dysmorphia. That's an extreme example. So body dysmorphia for Eugenia means something different than it does for me. She saw a person that she believes is overweight and that she needs to not eat, lose more weight for, when in fact she's emancipated and almost dead through starvation. She doesn't see it though. I see a guy that's not obese. At least when I was 180, 190, I saw a guy that wasn't obese. I saw a guy that could use to lose a couple of pounds, but wasn't obese. It wasn't until I came face to face with the realization and the fact that in fact I was obese that I didn't take my weight too seriously, right? I'd kind of given up on it because I'd tried so many times and it just wasn't working out. Anyway, long story short, that body dysmorphia works differently for everybody. Everybody's got it. And for me, back in the day, I saw a guy that was just maybe slightly overweight, but not obese. As it was, I was obese, right? Now I'm seeing a guy that's obese, right? Even though my scale says, last week it said, what was it last week? Last week my scale said 158.2. Now, if you guys have been watching my vlog, you know my goal weight's between 155 and 165. So 158.2 is perfect. I'm shooting for 160. I want to get right in the middle of the sweet spot of my goal weight. So that 158.2 last week was brilliant because the week before that I was like 162.4. So coming back down to my median weight was perfect. So this is where I want to be. But like I said, the dysmorphia part, right? I'm looking at myself in the mirror right now, you guys, and I'm telling you guys, I feel like I've gained a couple of pounds. And maybe it's in my head, but my pants yesterday, my 28 pants, they felt kind of tight on me. Maybe it's just that I'm retaining some water. Maybe I've gained a couple of pounds. But this is the way that your brain messes with you, right? My weight, my scale will tell me today that I'm not obese. I'm pretty sure of that. But I'm still going to have it in the back of my head that I am. And when I look in the mirror, it's the first thing I think of is, man, are you putting on weight again? And I live with that every day. And you guys that live with that too every day know what I'm talking about. And you know that it's always on the tip of my mind. And it's even more so now that I'm doing this vlog, right? This vlog is awesome for me because it makes me think about stuff. If I don't feel like being active, if my watch tells me, because my Fitbit reminds me when it's time to get active, get off your butt and stop sitting around on your game and go do something. It gets me walking around, and that's really helped, right? But the body dysmorphia part, that mental part, I'm still working on, right? So my physical part, I've been working on all this time. But all this time that I've been working on my physical, I haven't been working on my mental. That's been a mistake, you guys. And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. If you're just starting this up, by all means, focus on the physical, but also start focusing on some of the mental stuff that you can do, right? Focus on some of the mental stuff. So I wanted to read 2 comments really quick, and then we'll do the weight and I'll tell you about my glucose numbers. But I wanted to read these comments, first of all, to say thank you. And it kind of fits in what I'm talking about today anyway. So let's just get through the comments, then we'll do my weight and my glucose, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then I'll say sayonara until next week. Thanks for joining me, by the way. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there so you can be notified of my updates, right? So you can join me and comment on my videos. I love the comments. Even if it's just you guys saying hi, or I was where you were at, or I'm where you were at, I'm just getting started. Let me know that you're out there, because it really helps me keep track on myself as well, right? And I think that the people that have been checking in the comments and stuff, I think that they feel that way too, that people are kind of like watching them now, right? Like one guy said, hey, I lost 30 pounds. I've gotten 30 pounds. I'm planning on keeping it off. And I've kept it off now for 4 months, and I haven't been on the drug for 4 months. I think that's great. I love those updates because it encourages me. It tells me that there's people out there that can do it. And if there's people out there that can come off the drug and maintain a healthy weight and a healthy glucose level, I'm all about it, right? I want to be reminded that it's possible, right? There are people out there that will take this drug that won't change any lifestyles, right? And then they'll come off the drug for some reason or another, and all that weight comes right back on, and they're surprised by that. They should not be surprised by that. If you're not doing anything for yourself, don't be surprised when you come off the drug eventually and you gain all that weight back. You need to do the work on the way down. You need to start getting intimately familiar with those lifestyle changes, like eating less, eating better. And there are certain food groups that you want to cut down considerably, and some cut out altogether, like alcohol. I think is one that you should cut out altogether. But, you know, I drank all my life, so I'm not going to judge you. I'm just saying. That was one of the best things that I did for my health. Quitting drinking, quitting cigarettes, and losing weight. The 3 biggies. And that's where I'm at right now. I quit drinking, I quit smoking cigarettes, and now I've lost the weight and I'm feeling great. But in the back of my head, I still got these doubts, right? I still have these doubts. And that body dysmorphia thing keeps like talking to me in my head when I look at the mirror. It's like, man, you've been putting on a little weight. Well, let's find out if I've been putting on a little weight, because that's what my brain's been telling me this week. It's like, you better take it easy, you better slow down. And I'm just eating good stuff, like an apple for a snack one day. And I'm like, man, I wonder why I'm eating so much, right? Oh my God. It's just a constant head game, constant. Anyway, guys, last week my weight was 158.2. I think that I weighed a little bit less last week because my water weight was a little bit lower. I think that I probably normally would weigh closer to 160, 161, and that's just fine. That's right in the middle. 158.2 was my weight last week. Let's find out what it is this week. All right, this is my handy dandy new Renfro thing. I'm doing it barefoot because it does some readings on me. And I had a lady comment about my toenails. And I'm going to focus in on these a little bit because I was kind of hiding them from you guys. I was wearing socks every time I weighed in. You'll notice why. They're kind of like yellowy, but nowhere near as bad as they were about 6 months ago. They were so grotesque, I couldn't even look at them. But the podiatrist that I went to put me on this stuff that I apply it once in the morning and once in the evening. It's I don't know what it is, some kind of uric acid or something like that. And it gets rid of the fungus that's growing in and below my nail. And my nail is now turning white. It's still unsightly, but it's getting better. And I wanted to, full transparency. This is one of the things that we go through. And one of the things that diabetics go through is those toenails. My dad had them, my grandfather had them, and now I have them, but I'm getting rid of them, right? And I'm also controlling my diabetes, unlike my dad and my grandfather, who both died in their 50s and 60s. Anyway, I'm not planning on doing that. So let's see what the weight is today. Last week, 158.2. Okay, so here we go. All right, you guys, so there you have it. 155.6. I actually lost, almost 2.5 pounds. So there's that body dysmorphia. I'm looking in the mirror saying you definitely put on some weight this week. I can see it. You got some love handles developing there. I actually lost weight. So you can see how this can get you in trouble. You have to realize that body dysmorphia can fool you, right? Even if you think you can't be fooled, even if you feel you're unfoolable, it'll fool you, right? Anyway, my blood sugar glucose levels this week, 133. That's an increase, right? Last week it was 131, which is the highest it's been in the last 6 months. This week it's 133. So this is my new highest that it's been in the last 6 months. It's still below 140. And my doctor said when it got up to 140, when you started checking your diabetes glucose on a regular basis and you're averaging over 140 on a weekly basis, excuse me, if you're averaging over 140 on the weekly basis, it's going to be time to get back on a diabetes medicine. But so far, so good. It's at 133. I need to be careful because I'm inching up there. Now, in my defense, it was Halloween a couple of weeks ago, and we did have some Halloween candy laying around. I know. I may or may not have cheated, but I am pretty proud of myself. My old way of cheating would have been to go in there and grab one little piece, you know, those little Snickers bars that they got, they're like this big. I'm only going to have one, right? Go in there and grab one. And then like 10 minutes later, go in there and grab two because one just wasn't quite enough and one more is not going to be that filling, right? So I'm going to grab two more. And then an hour from then, go in and grab three, right? You can see how it goes, right? You just got to be honest with yourself, right? So I've gone and I've limited myself, right? The first day on Halloween night, I had 3 or 4 pieces of candy and I felt guilty about it. From then on, I said, well, I'm going to have candy left over the rest of the week. I know I am. It's going to be in the house. I'm going to limit myself to 1 piece a day, right? That's it. That's a treat for me. That's it. And then after it's gone, I'm not getting any more. I'm keeping it out of my effing closet. And that's what I've done. The candy's all gone now. There's no candy in my pantry. And that's excellent news. And I've actually, where I thought I put on the weight, I actually lost weight this week. 155.6. That's incredible. And my glucose level at 133, that's not bad either, right? That's not terrible for being a diabetic and not being on a diabetes medicine. That's pretty damn good. Anyway, if you haven't signed up for my weekly vlog, please do so. And make a comment and give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're out there because I'm telling you guys, just you guys being here and helping me with this vlog and just being present for it is keeping me honest with myself and it's keeping me working towards my goals. If you're out there doing the same thing that I'm doing, I hope that you're being successful. And if you're not, I would suggest reaching out. There are people out there that'll help you, man. I've had so many encouraging people in my vlogs and so many great comments, like the one from Sammy Davis. Sammy Sings 8185 says, very happy to see you get into a life of normalcy. Well, it looks normal. My life is nothing normal. There's nothing normal about my life really, but it does feel great being like a normal person, being able to do normal person stuffs with my weight, being able to walk across the parking lot again without being winded because I'm too fat. It's brilliant. I love it. And at James on Jackie 411 says, you're looking good. And I really appreciate that. I feel good. And I wish that I could see the way you see me, but I'm seeing myself through jaded glasses, right? I've got that dysmorphia thing going on, and I'm going to work on that. I'm going to continue to work on it. I know it exists. I know it's not a real thing, and I'm going to continue to try to work on myself with that and get mentally better. Now that I'm getting physically better, it's time to start working on the mental. You guys, thanks so much for joining me this week. Thanks so much in advance for leaving a comment and a likes, a thumbs up, and all that good stuff. We'll talk to you next week, and I hope that you're successful this week in everything that you do. Get ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas because they're coming.